All right, good evening. And this is a very, very impressive group of women. Just a few women I met, they're pretty impressive. And so welcome to the DVF studio and welcome to We Empower. Yeah, SDG UN Challenge. So We Empower. Tonight is something that we've been doing, an event we've been doing. This is the 8th year. And it's really, really nice. I mean, the women that come here and present are magnificent and they grow to do more things. And it's really, really quite impressive. So here at DVF, we always promote, when I was a little girl, I wanted more than anything to become a woman in charge. And a- and I became in charge because of a little dress. And because it was a little dress that gave me confidence, and there were millions of women who were buying the dresses, I ended up giving the confidence to all these women. So the little dress became a flag of freedom. And so now I am in the winter of my life, and I have made another discovery, because to be in charge is first and foremost to own who you are, right? Is to be comfortable with who you are. You know, your imperfection becomes your asset, your vulnerability turned into strength. So it really allows you to have a good relationship with yourself, because the most important dialogue is the dialogue you have with yourself. Once you have that, any other relationship is a plus and not a must. Okay. So so now I assume, and I know everyone here is in charge. What I have discovered in this later part of my life is the power of kindness. Kindness is a currency. And like money, it compounds. It compounds. It's a tool, it's a virtue, it's a trick, it's a muscle. And the more you practice it, the more you look at things differently. So, yes, we should change the world from outside, but it really all comes from within. So I invite you to practice the power of kindness. And I know you do already, but because that is going to be the revolution. Right now we live in a very dark moment. Everything is dark and discouraging, but we have to look for a tiny bit of light wherever the light is. Take the light, grow the light, cherish the light, share the light, because it's always the light that pushes the darkness away. And you see that every morning when the sun gets up. So, and welcoming you for being in charge, for kindness, and for the light, we start our program. And no one is better to talk in general, but to talk about the light than Alice Nelson, CEO of Vital Voices.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you for hosting this for the 8th year. I think we all know that there's something going on the east side of town. Leaders gathering together, talking about things. But you're on the west side tonight, okay? And on the west side, people aren't just talking, they're doing. Yes. So thank you, Diane, for your powers and drawing us to the West Side and to supporting this incredible work, and truly using your power to empower. So We Empower started 10 years ago. The UN SDGs had just come out. And, there were a whole range of them, of course, 17, and many, I don't know what they call them, all the little pieces under the pieces. There was a lot. And the targets, exactly. There we go. And Amanda Ellis and Amanda Ellis is from ASU, Ambassador Amanda Ellis. And I started talking because what we heard was in order to accomplish all these goals and all these targets and objectives and things, we had to go from billions to trillions. We were going to need that much money. But what I know of Vital Voices, working with 47,000 women leaders over the last 28 years across 188 countries, women like those that you'll meet tonight, is that there is something that is actually more powerful than trillions of dollars. And that is women with a vision. Women who have firsthand experienced the challenges in their communities and have decided not to look away, but instead to go head first to solve that challenge. That is what you're going to hear tonight. So the idea that we had was this WE Empower Challenge. We started it 8 years ago in 2018. And we have a couple of the former WE Empower awardees. And this is a global search. It's incredibly competitive. So I want to just introduce them. Leah Lizarando. Yes, former WE Empower Challenge. Hello there in the back. Lena Khalife from Jordan. Habiba Ali from Nigeria. Anyone else I'm missing? Anyway, it's an incredible program, a truly global search that looks for women who are these solutionaries, women who use everything they got, who use their social enterprise. When I was talking to one of the awardees earlier, and she said, no, it's not for profit, it's for purpose. And that's what their companies are all about. And it was basically about the fact that in order to achieve these huge goals and these targets, yes, we need everybody. And it isn't just about the trillions. It's about the brilliant ideas and the hearts and the minds and the passion that go behind it. We've got 5 years left. And I can tell you one thing, 5 years before these targets are due, women are the answer. And tonight you're going to see exactly why. Now, before I turn it over to our phenomenal MC for the evening, I just want to give a huge thanks to our partners, those who have been with us on this journey for 8 years. Of course, Amanda Ellis, who will be a judge tonight. Amanda and I co-chair this initiative, but Amanda is with the Arizona State University Julie Ann Wrigley Global Futures Laboratory. So welcome, Amanda, and thank you for the incredible support, of course, from you and ASU. And the World Bank, our other lead partner. I think we have some friends from the World Bank here tonight. And lead partners, Relics, P&G, BMO, Megan Smith is here, who pitched in for some of the award prizes tonight. Oxford, the International Leadership Association, and Grow Your Biz. So thank you all so much for investing in this program. You all are about what? Oh, I said that, didn't I? I did. I got my list, Amanda. Come on now. All right, let me turn it over to the woman of the hour who will just walk us through beautifully, Stephanie Mehta. She is the CEO of Mansuto Ventures. She is also the Chief Content Officer. And if you don't know that company, they're the parent company over Fast Company, the magazine, and Inc. This woman knows a thing or two about revolutionary companies that create impact. So, Stephanie, I can't thank you enough for once again being our MC. So, I'll be back. I'll be back to join you to announce the winner at the end of the hour, and also a special surprise if you stay.
Stick around. Thank you so much, Elise. Thank you, Diane, for hosting us. As Elise said, I'm Stephanie Mehta. I'm going to be your MC for this evening, and I'm going to make sure we keep this program brisk. So if judges, I'm warning you in advance, I'm going to call time. This is not Shark Tank. We're going to move quickly. I'm so excited for all of you to join us, whether you're here in the room or you're joining us virtually. Now, these, as Elise has told you, are awardees who have been inspired to advance the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Tonight, our 5 awardees are going to deliver a short pitch, and you, in the audience and watching us virtually, will have a chance to vote on which awardee will win big. Now, in particular, we're going to ask you to consider the clarity and impact of each entrepreneur's vision and her ability to execute on that vision. Tonight, we are going to use ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting is used all around the world and in New York City, and allows voters to rank candidates in order of preference to select a single winner that has the most votes. If one of our entrepreneurs gets the most votes, she wins. If not, the entrepreneur with the least votes is eliminated, and the second choice of those voters receives the votes. This continues until one entrepreneur has a majority of the votes. When the moment comes, we will ask our person in the audience to pull out their phone and cast the vote. So you'll be prompted to vote via phone. Now, on stage with me, we have a panel of experts. They will ask probing questions and dig into the awardees' business and future plans. But ultimately, it is up to you in the audience to pick the winner. So let us meet our experts. I'm going to start with Diane von Furstenberg, who needs no introduction. She is the chairman and founder and co-chairwoman of DVF. Diane? Amanda Ellis, whom you've met. She is the Senior Director, Global Partnerships and Networks, Julianne Wrigley Global Futures Laboratory at Arizona State University. Amanda? Dr. Marcia Feliciano is the founding Chief Sustainability Officer of the Relics Group. Marcia? And Hank Rogers is founder of Tetris and the Blue Planet Alliance. Hank. All right, who's ready to get started? Our first entrepreneur, Monica Shukla, is co-founder and CEO of Humblebee, a social enterprise advancing women-led entrepreneurship, climate resilience, and ecological regeneration through scientific beekeeping. Monica's business supports SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, and SDG 13, climate action. Please welcome Monica Shukla from India.
Namaste. There was a time when India did not have enough food. Then came the Green Revolution, and India became food sufficient. There was another time when the country did not produce enough milk. Then came the White Revolution, transforming us into the world's largest producer of milk. It's time for another revolution, a golden one, which I am building with Humblebee. Over 85% of Indian farmers are small and marginal, with less than 1 acre of land. With climate change, the risks are huge. If one crop fails, there is no livelihood, often crushing debt, and at times, tragic farmer suicides. Do you also know that only about 27% of cashew flowers turn into fruits? Because there are no bees left to pollinate them? In India alone, we need about 200 million bee colonies to be able to optimally pollinate our croplands. Today, we just have 3.4 million. We need to grow 60 times. Bees are magical. They can change everything. More bees mean higher yields, healthier crops, and of course, more income from honey. For a small farmer that I'm working for, it means resilience. And for our food systems, it means security. At Humblebee, we manufacture high-quality, precision-engineered beehives for our women farmers. We train them and make them into scientific beekeepers. We also help them unlock affordable credit so they can become owners of these beehives as productive assets. They start pollinating their crops, they start producing honey. We then move their hives from farm to farm, matching the seasonal flowering calendars, all using artificial intelligence. This ensures that every woman farmer earns at least 5 to 6 harvests of honey every year. Be it mustard, lychee, sesame, rosewood, thyme, moringa, or 40 other crop types. Each crop yields an exquisite variety of honey, unique in color, flavor, aroma, texture, and wellness benefit. Now, to de risk the incomes of these women beekeepers, we enter into a fair forward buyback assurance with them. We have made it a women first movement because bees love the frequency of women's voices. Women also tend to be gentler nurturers of smaller animals, isn't it? Who knows, men might be good with bigger ones. At Humblebee, we are harvesting this very synergy between bees, women, ecology, biodiversity, agriculture, and climate resilience. So far, we have mobilized about 250,000 women from rural and tribal India. And we are well on our path to turn 1 million women into empowered beekeepers by 2028, effectively doubling their household incomes. We also aspire to take our movement all across to the global south. Just imagine a world where no flower goes unpollinated, where there are bees buzzing all around, where women earn dignified livelihoods, where there is complete food security, and where just one crop failure doesn't determine the fate of a farmer. That is the world that I'm building. And that is Humblebee's golden revolution in making. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, Monica. Judges, now's the time to ask questions. A question from one of the judges? Marcia.
Yes, thank you. Amazing presentation. What I wanted to know more about, I think you said that you have a guarantee that you will purchase the honey. So talk about what happens, that your way of distributing, selling, and how those profits go back into the business.
Absolutely, Marcia. Thank you so much for that question. As Elise just mentioned, we are a for purpose and a not for loss organization. We do buy back honey, raw honey, real authentic raw honey from our women beekeepers. And the idea is to make sure that each one of you get access to the most authentic, the very unique variety of honey that India has the potential to create and produce. Right? So today, honey is the third most adulterated product on earth after milk and olive oil. Do you know that the world consumes more honey than bees actually produce? And that tells you something. So we are investing a lot in traceability and building fair forward markets. We are already certified by US FDA, and we can't wait for the tariff situation to get over to be able to sell our honeys in the US.
Hank, you have a question?
Right, this way. Yeah, I have a hard time imagining beautiful Indian woman inside of a beekeeper's outfit. So, do you supply them with all of that equipment, or do they have another way of dealing with bees that doesn't require all of that equipment?
Yeah, bees are resilient unless you spray chemical pesticides, and so are women who we work with. So, right, so we do provide them with the right kind of gears, protective units, suits, tools, etc. But over a period of time, we see them becoming more confident and just shedding their gears and everything and just handling the colonies by themselves.
Are you familiar with Flow
Flow
Hive?
Hive, yes, yes, very
So
much.
are you using that technology?
Too expensive for India.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
Question about the Golden Revolution, which sounds so beautiful. Tell us more.
Sure. So Golden Revolution for us is all about abundance. It means three things to us. One, effective pollination of our croplands. Over 2/3 of world crops are pollinated by bees. Every fruit, every vegetable, oil seeds, pulses, spices, everything is bee pollinated. But unfortunately, bee population has been on a decline. So we are trying to bring bees back to the field and trying to unlock pollination as an economy for our part of the world. It's very well done here in case of California almond, right, where bees are taken from east coast to the west coast to pollinate the almond crops. It's not very much seen in southern hemisphere. So that's something that we are building. The second for us is unlocking scientific beekeeping as a low barrier, climate resilient economic activity for Indian women. Women are the invisible hands of Indian agriculture. The labor force participation is very low in India. And we really want to turn 1 million women into beekeepers in the next few years and make them confident beekeepers, So that is the second part. And the third part of the Golden Revolution for us is to really bring the best honeys to the world. Honey is considered to be the first medicine by Indian Ayurveda. And it's sad that, there are some parts of the world where there is a lot of blending, mixing business happening, and what you get in your teddy bears here in the America is not real honey. So yeah.
Can you give us a tiny little example of a success that you've already had?
Sure. Thank you. So we work with state governments because they have the wherewithal, they have the kind of penetration that we want to reach the rural women. We mobilize these women, we sensitize them. To give you an example, we work with one of the largest states of India. The mission is to turn 1 lakh, which is 100,000 women, into beekeepers in just 1 year. And that is just one state. India has 31 such states, right? So nothing would succeed like success. And that is something that we have seen in our work. And whenever one woman beekeeper starts earning well, we see a ripple effect, right? So we only work with women whose household incomes annually are about $1,000. And with the additional income from beekeeping, we have been able to add another 1,500 to their household income. And that's a step jump for them. It's not incremental. It's not a poverty graduation model. It's a post-graduation model. And it's been working for us so far.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monica. Next up, we have Jessica Jacob. Jessica is founder and CEO of Sureco, a climate consulting firm advancing inclusive gender equitable sustainability projects across Latin America, the Caribbean, and other developing regions. Jessica's firm supports SDG 13, climate action, SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. Please welcome Jessica from Colombia.
Good evening. I was born with the wind from many generations of sailors. My twin and I dreamed and reached Colombia's Olympic sailing team. Out on the water, every race was a battle against the weather and our competitors. I learned to turn nature into my unstoppable force. Sailing shaped my passion for climate and my determination to protect it. Growing up, I dreamed of studying in Paris at the Sorbonne with very basic French. And then, working at the United Nations. I chased those dreams persistently, graduating first in class. And even, think about it, leaving my CV on every car at the UN parking lot. Years later, I battled my way in, becoming regional manager for Latin America and the Caribbean at the world's largest climate fund, based in South Korea. There, at the Green Climate Fund, I realized a truth we hardly admit. Too much money flows back to the global north through international consultants, while women, youth, and talent from the south, those driving local impact, remained unfunded. That's why I established Sureco and Partners, a woman-led consultancy firm designing climate solutions from and for the global south. Our vision, shifting finance, resources, and decision-making to those living closest to climate risks in developing countries. So far, we are developing climate projects for $1.5 billion, training 5,000 professionals, and mentoring over 50 interns, the majority women, one here present. Our impact, with just two examples. First, designing a co-investment platform for early warning systems and climate disasters, reducing vulnerabilities in agriculture, health, and infrastructure in 33 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. Second, designing a program for solar energy that is benefiting 10% of Colombia's most vulnerable communities, including indigenous communities in the Amazon. My dream tonight. One, your trust and vote. Because your support brings credibility and moves capital. Two, your partnerships through strategic introductions to allies and founders. My promise in return, expanding our women-led solutions network, staying focused on community-led innovation, and full transparency on your investments. You all can help us scale our impact in developing countries by embracing talent from the global south that will improve and increase global change. You know what climate justice is? Well, it's mostly about who gets financing to implement impactful projects in developing countries, benefiting the most vulnerable communities to climate change. Tonight, with your support, we can scale climate finance, we can scale equity, and we can scale impact. I thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Questions from the judges? We'll start with Marcia.
Thank you. You get to the heart of the matter because if we have a gap in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, it's all around the funding. So, what has been your key to success in bringing the money to the projects?
Thank you for that question. I would say that when you know, and it's impossible that everybody knows, where are the resources? Where is the money? No, a lot of people have had great ideas, great projects from government institutions to private sector, but that is one of the specialities of Sureco, is knowing which are the climate funds, where are the multilateral institutions, where are the bilateral, the philanthropists, the private sector. So we're not just doing a matchmaking between projects and resources. We're helping to improve the quality of the projects. And if we can, we're even before that, originating with the communities, with the governments, the projects. On the example that I quote on early warning systems and climate disasters, here's the Vice Minister of Dominican Republic of Environment that is participating on the project. And welcome, Vice Minister. So in this case of this program that is benefiting 33 countries, including Dominican Republic, we are working with the 3 biggest regional development banks in Latin America and the Caribbean. And with them, we're doing a proposal to the Green Climate Fund to be able to leverage and find co-financing. And we are estimating that this program will be around $1.2 billion, bringing to Latin America and the Caribbean of one of the most precious issues.
So two questions. One is solar is very nice, but solar without storage doesn't work. So how are you dealing with storage? That's one. And the other question is the other question. The kind of, can you give me some idea of the scale of the projects that you're working on? Are we talking about factories or villages or individual houses? What kind of projects?
Great. So I'm going to take the example of renewable energies, as I see that that's something that interests you. So on the program that we are developing for Colombia, we had multiple conversations with the Ministry of Mining and Energy and with the 2 agencies in Colombia that are in charge of the connections to the vulnerable communities that do not have grid. So we estimated that there's more than 15% of Colombia's population that doesn't have access to energy. So there are different, of course, options, but solar has become one of the cheapest options. So of course, we have undertaken the fact of the storage and the batteries. So that is part of the resources that we're asking to international funds, that they want to take that risk and that they know that is the part that is the most expensive one. So in that case, with the government acceptance, that is not easy today, and with that community engagement, we have found 2 options. One is independent solar panels per families in the rooftops, and the others are small villages that with the municipality and with support from the private sector that they see a case for business, we're doing a bigger solution, transforming from fossil fuels or diesel into bigger solar farms.
So far, what is your biggest success and what are you the proudest of?
I have to say it, my biggest success is my son that he's watching, Rafael. It's not easy being an entrepreneur and a mom at the time. And honestly, you would be proud if he would be here. And he's proud, I know. No, my biggest success, it was taking the challenge of quitting working for the biggest climate fund worldwide. Everybody knows I'm a little bit crazy, but a good crazy. And even my dad was saying, like, you have the school paid, the health paid, a huge good salary, and now you want to become an entrepreneur? And I said, like, well, I think I have still the age and I have the force and the strength to become an entrepreneur. And the biggest result out of it is the training the professionals. And even if it sounds not much, but for me, 50 interns today, a lot of them are working at the UN, in the development bank. They have created their own business. Now, one of them is here and has a scholarship in Columbia University. So as I was learning a word in English today, I always say that we are a family and I am the chicken and they are my chicks. And I always say, come on, you have to fly away. Sureco's a good place to work. And I think that investing on the youth, in the talent from people and mainly women that can go even further than what I have achieved, that's my biggest achievement.
Last question. If you were to win tonight, how would you invest that money?
Great question. Thank you, Amanda. So I'm going to do it fast because I know that we need time for everyone, but I know you're with the time clock. So what I would do first is ask my board of advisors. So I know a lot of them, and we talk about that with BMU. A lot of them are watching, and we have 16 members of advisors to the board. And we have managed to be international board, not only Latin American, Caribbean. So we have people from South Korea, India, France, Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Namibia, Mexico, Guatemala, US. I can start doing a Marc Anthony song. And, and even 2 former ministers of environment from Colombia and Dominican Republic. But as they are not here today, I'm going to ask you to advise me on what to do if I win the award. I'm going to give you 3 options. That is what I thought about. The first option would be investing in my branding. So website, you can take a look into it, Sureco and partners.com. It's always good not to invest on marketing, branding. That's what we have to do, but it's where we put the money at the end because we have other more pressing issues. The second option would be continue investing and increase our internship program. And that's completely obvious that it's important to continue investing in the youth. And the third option would be investing in our AI tools. We are developing AI tools to facilitate access to entities in developing countries to international funds and other difficult mechanisms. So I will ask your advice. If it's website where I invest in marketing and branding, 2, if it's an internship program, and 3, if it would be AI tools. What would be your advice? I love it. So let me tell you, and I have a judge here, all the staff of Sureco are previous interns. All of them. All. And 3 former interns that are now staff are those in charge of AI tools. But if you have interns, well, it's the first time we have accepted international interns because we're not just focused on developing countries. We have 2 persons from India, from the London, what is King's College of London, and 1 from a university in the US. So that's my part. So I would take choice number 2, investing in our internship and youth. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
And shout out to Megan Smith for the excellent suggestion there. I am going to have to limit the judges to just 3 questions going forward. We're running way over time, but I also want to make sure we have equal time for all of our candidates. So I'm going to introduce our next awardee. Lynn Malcawi is the founder and director of WASL for Awareness and Education, an organization advancing sustainability, peace building, and civic engagement across the Levant by empowering youth and promoting cross-border collaboration. Lynn's organizations support SDG 10, reduced inequalities, SDG 4, quality education, and SDG 17, partnerships for the goals. Please welcome Lynn from Jordan.
Talent is universal, but opportunities are not. This quote perfectly captures why I founded WASL for Awareness and Education. I am the daughter of a self-made man, a son of farmers from a small village in northern Jordan, and one of 9 siblings, the only one to have pursued a higher education. From an early age, I became aware of the gaps that exist between people, some structural and some circumstantial. My life turned out differently than it might have because my father had the courage to break the cycle and push through every closed door. Wasl was created to do the same for others through programs that foster equity, inclusion, and opportunity. Our signature program, Shab Kubadir, brings together youth from marginalized public schools with peers from private schools. Together, they design and implement solutions that directly serve their local communities. Today, the program runs in over 30 schools across Jordan, empowering thousands of youth to collaborate and lead change. Opportunity often favors those already on the dance floor, and who better to shape the future than those who will inherit it? Through Wasl, I have worked in every municipality in Jordan, from training and employing people with disabilities to supporting entrepreneurs in underserved communities to access capital. At its core, our work has one purpose: to reduce inequalities by unlocking human potential. This belief is rooted in my own journey. I changed schools 4 times before the age of 11, moving across countries and cultures. Each transition meant starting over and realizing that what connects us is far greater than what separates us. I once heard someone say, I was hired because I was different, but I was fired because I wasn't the same. Wasl, we believe difference is a strength. And when people come together, change is not only possible, it is inevitable. At the end of the day, it is people who make change. And when people are empowered, they can achieve anything. Thank you.
So much, Lynn. Questions, Hank?
Yeah, sure. Can you give me an example of a project that your students did together?
Absolutely. So one of our projects that actually they are recently working on, we're working on partnering one of our private schools with one of our public schools, and they're working on a climate change issue. So they are putting a hydraulic system on the top of their schools that is collecting water, and this water is going to be donated to local municipalities so that it's not wasted. It's going to be put on the top of their schools. Also, they are contacting over 30 restaurants and 30 hotels to be able to collect the water that remains in the water bottles. So when you go to restaurants in Jordan, you are served water in plastic bottles, but this water never touches people's mouths, but it's thrown away. So they are collecting all that water, they are recycling the plastic, donating it to recycled places where it can be recycled, and they are recycling the use of water. They are also working on doing an aquaponic system on the top of their schools. This aquaponic system will yield fruits and vegetables which can be used in canteens, etc. So this particular project is a climate change project, but the projects that they come up with can be focused on anything, whether it be dinner in the dark events that support creating awareness for blind people. It could be deaf dingo events that support teaching people sign language. It could be any and everything that they see as an issue that they want to serve their local communities.
Thank you for sharing your personal story. You are operating in a part of the world where there aren't many women entrepreneurs, so thank you for being that role model. Can you talk about the scale of what you've been able to achieve so far and what your vision is for the future in terms of how, you use a multiplier effect?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that question. So in Wasl, over the past 7.5 years, we have reached over 250,000 individuals across our programs. We have worked in over 30 schools across Jordan. We have supported over 700 individuals get access to financing. We have supported individuals to get access to jobs. Marginalized individuals, such as people with disabilities, get access to jobs in the private sector. But one thing that I know that I would do if I had an influx of funding is scale. So at the beginning of each academic year, we would post reels about our programs. And over the past week, I have just received 8 schools that are requesting to join our program when they see these exciting videos of what these kids can do. So what I would do if I had an influx of money is two things. One is to digitize a portion of this program where I can use an ambassadorship model to scale this program and reach 100, 200 schools. So instead of having to physically be there, the only way to scale this particular program is to digitize it and use technologies, but always keep human beings at the center. So that will be through an ambassadorship model. And we have had enough experience doing this for multiple schools over the past 7.5 years that I believe we would be able, through digitization, to scale it comfortably.
One last question. Anything else?
That actually answered my question, which was going to be about growth. So brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lynn. All right, we are now going to hear from Gavutney Nielsen. She is the co-founder and CEO of Katla Carbon, a pioneering climate tech company that channels climate finance to girls' education in low-income countries. Katla Carbon supports SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 13, climate action. Please welcome Gavutney from Iceland.
Thank you. In 2017, a group of climate scientists published a book called Drawdown. It listed the world's top 100 climate solutions and ranked them by impact. When I opened that book, I expected the usual suspects at the top of the list: wind turbines, solar farms, tropical rainforests. But what I didn't expect to see, ranked number 6, was girls' education. I was stunned. Climate finance was surging as governments and corporations were rushing to fund impactful solutions. Yet, girls' education, one of the most powerful climate solutions, was being completely overlooked. And as the years passed and climate disasters only kept forcing more and more girls out of school, in the very communities that had contributed the least to global emissions, but were being hit the hardest by climate crisis, I realized this solution would remain ignored by climate finance unless somebody made a case for it. And since nobody seemed to be trying, I figured I might as well give it a go. I called upon a couple of climate scientists and 2 NGOs in Zambia. And after 2 years of some intensive research, we had developed a first-of-its-kind methodology to measure the climate impact of raising girls' education in tons CO2. Our methodology enables NGOs to generate carbon credits through the emission reductions that their girls' education projects deliver. In the carbon market, 1 carbon credit equals 1 ton CO2 reduced, and corporations aiming for net zero rely on carbon credits to compensate for the emission reductions that they cannot deliver on. This, for the first time, these NGOs no longer have to rely on sporadic funding or unpredictable grants. They can simply generate their own revenue through the sale of carbon credits, with corporations as their customers, not as their donors. This is a win for the climate with powerful emission reductions. This is a win for sustainable development across multiple SDGs with gender equality at its core. This is a win for human rights as marginalized girls claim the education they are entitled to. And yes, this is also a win for corporates advancing their net zero strategy. So, if you ever find yourself in conversations about carbon credits or even debating their efficacy, I hope you remember, and please remind others, that carbon credits can go way beyond tree planting and distant technologies. They can simply come from getting girls into school, channeling resources to those who have contributed the least to the climate crisis, but are bearing its heaviest burdens. Thank you.
Diane.
Again, I always ask, what is the one little specific success that you can tell us about?
Thank you. Well, we've had our first pilot project show some great success in our first project-wide evaluation, where we had more than 95% of all of our girls finish ninth grade compared to the local average, which was below 16%, and a transition rate in around 86% into the 10th grade, which was around 32% locally. And only this part is generating carbon credits and reducing emissions of around 22,000 tons CO2. So I would say that's my.
Great, great.
Which countries are you operating in?
We're currently in Zambia, and our corporate partners are currently all in Iceland. That's where we started. We're very new.
Oh, I'm so mean. I'm going to ask the question. Cheat Amanda of her question. Companies need to show that they're not doing greenwashing, and they need to have the projects certified. And how are you, can you just say a little bit about that connection between the education and the CO2 saved? Like, make that link for us, and how you're going to do the certification.
So if I understand your question correctly, how is girls' education a climate solution?
Yes, and
Yeah.
then, for example, if you have a forestry project, it'd be red plus. So you have an entity that's going to tell you that that constitutes a good project because it's being monitored, they have metrics, etc.
Yes. Well, the science has been clear on this for decades. Education provides girls with knowledge and awareness of their rights, leading to their empowerment and increased agency to make choices for themselves, like when they marry, whom they marry, when they start having children, and how many children they themselves wish to have. And girls who are educated tend to have children later in life, and they tend to have smaller families, much healthier children. So that is where the emission reductions come from, because that lessens the demand on resources like energy, food, housing, and so on. So it's fairly simple. We've had to develop this methodology. I was waiting for years for someone else to do this. So we developed this methodology under guidance from Dr. Shonali Pachauri, who is a lead author for the IPCC's 6th and 7th assessment reports. And the way we monitor it is we monitor every single term through the schools that the girls are actually finishing each term. So we monitor every year, 3 times a year, for the full 5 years of secondary education that we're focusing on now. And our projects will go through evaluation, not through us, but through an independent registry, which accredits verifiers. So we can't choose our verifiers. They choose them through themselves.
Gavutney, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to now invite our last entrepreneur for the evening, Juvaline Unum. She is the founder and CEO of Bleegly, a circular economy enterprise transforming waste into opportunity in 3 African countries. Juvaline's business supports SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 13, climate action. Please welcome Juvaline from Cameroon.
Bleakly, soar like an eagle. That's what it means. I grew up surrounded by burning piles of waste. At 12, I was diagnosed with serious respiratory problems. Every day, I walked to school through thick smoke from burning garbage. The smoke made it hard to breathe and harder to study. My mother took me from one clinic to another, but I believed that a woman shouldn't have to rely on medicine or hospitals to breathe clean air. She should have that by herself. I wanted to change this, but the problem felt bigger than one person. Every day, I saw neighbors, especially women and children, coughing from the smoke. Trash piled up in streets, drains overflowed, and people, including women farmers, had no safe way to dispose of waste. Recycling companies and waste pickers were trying their best, but no system existed to manage waste safely and efficiently. I realized that without a platform to organize action, the problem will continue to harm our health, our environment, and our future. So I created Bleakly. Bleakly is an enterprise that uses satellite imagery through computer analysis to pinpoint where we can make a big difference quickly. We set up local recycling hubs where waste can be recycled into value-added products. This enables us to achieve in one day what would normally take 2 weeks or longer under normal municipal practices. We also introduce rewards programs where families, especially women, can exchange their waste for benefits and incentives, such as school fees and food for their children. We train women on how to recycle waste into value-added products, which they can use or sell. Creating Bleakly was liberating for me. It helped me heal a wound shared by many women. The repression we grow up with, being told that safety only comes if we stay indoors and wait for others to act. But now, as we are expanding from Cameroon, Senegal, and Malawi, women are leading waste campaigns, recycling, running green businesses, supported by other women who see them take action. Bleakly is more than a platform for managing waste. It helps solve daily challenges such as air pollution, unemployment among women, overflowing landfills, and even the hidden trauma of feeling powerless. When the world feels polluted, choose Bleakly and support these women who are solving waste management problems in communities to feed their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Juvaline. Questions from the expert panel?
Please don't call me expert. um, so how many installations have you implemented thus far?
We have installed recycling hubs, local recycling hubs in 7 regions across Africa. And these local recycling hubs are led by the locals themselves. That's women and young people. They recycle waste into value-added products like bioenergy, biochar, compost. Most of these communities cut down trees to burn as firewood, and the smoke is really billowing, causing heart and lung diseases. And we are providing bioenergy to replace charcoal and firewood in these different communities. So when we establish a recycling hub, it's run by the locals, young women and youths as well. That's young women in particular. And they perform waste collection, recycling, and sales, and then reinvesting the revenue into the recycling hubs. And then we can replicate that same model in other low-income communities that have challenging waste management situations, but that have been left outside control of municipal authorities.
You talked about satellite imagery and AI. How does that work? And how on earth did you know how to do all that?
When we started at Bleakly, visibility was a problem for us. It was very difficult for us to find waste. We all face these challenges. In communities, poor waste disposal is often burned, causing respiratory issues, like the personal experience I had. It's clogging drainage systems. And so it was very difficult to find waste because we would drive for hours and days and weeks in search of waste. And with my experience as an environmental engineer and also further training from the University of Oxford School of Climate Change, I put that data science and innovation into the business to be able to quickly find in one day what normally took 2 weeks or longer on the normal municipal practice.
So as you look at the future, how will you replicate your model? As you said, you're already looking between Cameroon, Malawi, and Senegal. So this has huge potential. So talk a little bit about that.
So our model is like, thank you for that question. Our model is like a playbook. What we use, the system we use in one community, we use that same system in another community. So we start by establishing partnerships with governments, NGOs, community leaders, and women groups. We sit together, we identify the poor waste disposal hotspots, we set up local recycling hubs using locally sourced materials so that we can be cost effective. And then we also recruit the young people and women to run those recycling hubs. And when they recycle the waste into value-added products like the bioenergy, biochar, and compost for smallholder farmers, the sale of those products and revenues from the sales is reinvested into the recycling hub for long-term sustainability. And when we see that we have created both environmental and social impact, that's through emissions reduction and creation of jobs, we feel satisfied, especially when communities see that their daughters and their sons are taking part in challenges that face almost everyone. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Juvaline. Thank you so much, Juvaline. Okay, well, can we have another round of applause for these amazing awardees? All right, now it is time to get out your phones. Once again, what an inspiring group of women. I'm so just, it's such a heartfelt feeling to see all the work they're doing around the world to bring change to the world. Now we are going to enter the voting portion of the evening, and it is your chance to cast a vote for an awardee to win $10,000. So please pull out your phones. If you have not, most of you should have received a link for how to vote. If you have not, go to vitalvoices.org/we empower to cast your vote. That's vitalvoices, all one word, .org/we empower, WEEMPOWER. And let me just remind you of our amazing awardees. Monica Shukla from India. Monica, can you raise your hand? She's the founder of Humblebee. Jessica Jacob, Sureco and Partners. Lynn Malcawi, Wassel for Awareness. Raise your hand high. Gavutney Nielsen, Katja Carbon. And Juvaline Ungum from Bleagley. All right. Again, if you need me to say that one more time, it's, oh, we have time? Yes, I'm going to give you the name one more time. It is vitalvoices.org/we empower. That's two E's in we, WEEMPOWER. Place your votes. And just as a reminder, you will rank all 5 awardees in the order of your choice based on clarity and impact of the vision and whether you think the awardee convinced you of her ability to achieve the vision.
Website once more.
vitalvoices.org/we empower. That's vitalvoices.org/we empower. Is everybody able to access the website? And once again, rank your awardees in the order of your choice. And the criteria are clarity and impact of vision, and whether the awardee convinced you of her ability to achieve that vision. All right. We're going to leave the poll up for 1 minute. So please make your choices, vote carefully. Amanda, are you going to let me know when they're ready? You're going to give me the thumbs up. Talk amongst yourselves. Admire these amazing founders. Once again, the name of the website is vitalvoices.org/we empower. Okay. And while you're voting, we have a special announcement.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Melissa Tony Stiers. I am the Chief Global Growth Officer for MIA AI. That stands for Mission Impact Academy. We are a public benefit corporation. We train non-technical talent in the skills of AI and emerging tech. Some of our clients include European Central Bank, the UNDP. I've been sitting in the back row. I'm good friends with Amanda Ellis, and we love the work that ASU is doing. I was so impressed with the leaders here tonight. And I was talking with Amanda, and we are going to find all 5 of these entrepreneurs, and we are going to provide free AI training to you, to your teams, to your interns, and to the entrepreneurs who are training. We have a mission to empower 1 million women with the skills of AI by 2030, but I think together we're going to do it by 2028. So thank you so much. We are excited. We're going to walk alongside you in your journeys. You are all winners tonight, and we cannot wait to see what is possible. Thank you for allowing us to do this.
Excellent. Thank you. While we wait just one more minute, any other offers on the table? Megan Smith just told us that she's going to give another 10K to match that 10K so that the winner will be 20K. Was I allowed to say that publicly, or was it anonymous?
One of the things that we all can do. Hello. One of the things my name is Megan. I'm on the board of Vital Voices. I love them. I was the chief technology officer for the United States under President Obama. And one of the things that what I'm most interested in is driving creative confidence for everyone. I think especially in the age of AI, we need that for everyone. And I just love all these amazing entrepreneurs. The thing that I want to add is that every single one of us probably thought of something that would be helpful for one of them. How many people had that experience when you were listening yet? Oh, okay. So do you promise that you will come find them? Because what we want to do whenever we hear entrepreneurs, we want to think of improv. 2/3 yes and. How can I help you? What kind of teammates, partners, money, board members, whatever it is you can think of for them, ways to make it cost less, accelerate it. And then 1/3 yes but. So you might have thought of a critique or a question. So you want to support them with how they might pivot. If you have a better way to do it, you can suggest it. So everyone in here, just for a minute, pause, think of one of these solutions and what you would help with. And then promise me you will talk about them. Yes? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So I just want to say one thing. When we walked in here and Diane welcomed all of you, one of the things that she talked about was that it's a dark time. And we might have all walked into this room today and thought, oh, it's hopeless. What can we do? I hope that you're walking out of here knowing, man, let's just give the ball to women and let them go. I mean, And by the way, by the ball, I mean the money. Yeah. Truly, women are the light, and we need to find that light. We need to grow that light, and we need to connect it with all of us. So I hope that you will stay. I hope you will connect. And the little surprise I wanted to tell you, and I have to tell you this before I announce the awardee, because then it's all over. The excitement happens, is that if you want to stay and you want to exchange ideas, please go downstairs, shop 10%. You get a 10% discount tonight, and another 10% will go to Vital Voices, which goes back into this program and other programs like this to truly support these extraordinary leaders on the front lines of change. To date, we've supported 47,000 women across 188 countries. Think about that. You met 5 extraordinary women tonight. Multiply that, and we have to keep going. There has never been a more important time. Okay.
We also have some gifts from Susan Craig, who has Tahi and Kaea, 2 businesses in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And so each of the awardees is getting some Manuka honey which is the best-selling product, the single best-selling product in Harrods, and also her new top-of-the-range skincare line. So thank you. Susan, unfortunately, had another engagement tonight, but she sends her best. Huge congratulations. And she is represented by Keith Tuffley from the board of the Vila Institute. So Keith, please stand up and wave. We're very happy to have you wonderful men in the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. The moment has come. First, I want to say to each of you, you blow me away. Each of you are winners, so please know that. But the audience voted, the votes are in, and Jessica, you are the winner. Thank you all so much for coming. Please come on up. Announce the surprise, the additional money for each? No. No.
You've done it already. Oh, you did it.
Wait, isn't the other getting something?
And I'm going to announce $2,500 for the other four.
And I would like to double that that 2,500.
I'm just going to close us out very quickly because, as Elise said, it's all over now that we have the winner. You all want to go and have a glass of wine and celebrate. But I just wanted to once again thank everybody for being here. Thank you to our panel of judges. But most of all, thank you to these amazing women for your incredible work and everything you're doing to make the world better. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.